To the 10,000 of you guys who watched last night's video, we got the Roaring Kitty tweet. He posted a GIF of Rick James, and we called it out perfectly that he was going to tweet at 8 p.m. We said there was a 50-50 shot that we get that tweet. Now, it didn't spark as much movement in GameStop as we expected, but I prepped you for that, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about what is next. I ultimately think GameStop is the main play. However, we do need to talk about a lot of stuff. So this might be a little bit of a long video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, since I research, edit, upload, record these for you guys, not in that order. And comment what number like you are in the comments down below. Before we get into the whole GIF, the whole meme, what it could mean, what stocks we're looking at, and how GameStop is going to move forward, let's talk about the FTD data request that the SEC basically just recently denied, which we talked a little bit about it. But in their release, they said that releasing the data could cause foreseeable harm. But foreseeable harm to who? If you take a look in the documents, you can see that causing foreseeable harm is a clause that can be put in to avoid reporting the data based on certain specific exemption rules. Now, these exemption rules are: 1, classified information prohibited by law; statutory protections covered by specific statutes; exemption 4 protects trade secrets and commercial or financial information; and 6 and 7 protect personal privacy and law enforcement records; and then 2, 5, 8, and 9, detailed analysis required; exemption 5, deliberate process attorney-client privilege is most frequently used, requiring detailed harm assets. So this doesn't really give us a straight-on explanation. But after further looking into it and talking to ChatGPT, you can see that the SEC is likely protecting market makers like Citadel Securities. They are protecting the markets, preventing instability in the markets, and they are protecting big institutions from going down, going underwater. Now, another reason they could have possibly done this is that maybe these institutions or these big firms were over leveraged and they actually didn't hedge their position, which would make huge risk, which would actually, reporting that data could force them to cover, could force entities who have shares in their name or who are working with them to force them to cover because they do not meet the collateral obligations or something along the lines of that. Closing thoughts: obviously, we are not in a fair market. Now, GameStop is trading at $30.81, down 1.7% on the day. I told you yesterday we are likely to get a flush down. Now, this flush down could be to 30.50 or it could be to 29.50. And this is what you're going to trade into coming into January 9th or into January 13th. And it's very, very simple, right? On the 9th, you see this gap up to test the top of this descending channel that you're in, which we have been in several times, several moves, which track the old moves on GameStop, like back here. This is what you would be looking at, this flush down, okay? Flush down, come up, squeeze, and guess what? January 9th into the 13th, it's the same thing. It's a requel. That's what Roaring Kitty is talking about. And GameStop is the main play for me. I have not exited any shares or call contracts, but you can see right now we are testing that first range at $30.50. And if we break below $29.50, I would like to hold that, and that is something that I'm watching for. Now, okay, Roaring Kitty's tweet, he tweeted a GIF, and this GIF right here is Rick James, and he's basically just doing this, like, give it to me, give me the money, right? Now, the first GIF that pops up when you type in Unity is one of these GIFs, right? It's Rick James, okay? And that is why people are saying, oh, Unity obviously jumped 11% overnight trading. And then you had this movie clip where this guy is basically wearing a Unity ring with Rick James in it, right? Overall, as this could mean Unity, right? Because the collision emoji also could mean that GameStop is merging or colliding with Unity, and that is what people are speculating. Roaring Kitty tweets a magazine with U as the cover, and then he tweets a present, and you can see that the Unity box logo is the same as the present. People are overlaying that U for Unity and then the Unity ring. So all of this speculation leads into Unity stock, which we saw come all the way up to $26, which was a resistance level, and now came and basically fell under this fib at 25.23. Now, I did see an interesting options chain that I alerted Discord earlier. I believe it was January 17th, $30 calls. I normally don't disclose all of the decent option contracts that I see, but that is something that I see in Unity. Now, Unity has 77% institutional ownership on this play. So GameStop has a very high institutional ownership. People have been adding into GameStop. I don't know if there's correlation here, but this could also be very dangerous. I believe over 50% of the float is actually held by insiders of the company as well. Unity is sitting at a 7% short interest with 3.3 days to cover, which is not bad. That is a little bit of short interest there. But ultimately, disregarding Unity, because I think GameStop is the main play, Rick James, give it to me, baby, says, I say, wait till I squeeze you, as one of the lyrics. And that is what people are paying attention to. There's no coincidence behind this. It's wait till he squeezes us. He says, wait till I squeeze you. Does that mean he's going to drop a YOLO on January 9th? It could very well possibly mean that. I'm not making another call out, but again, 50-50 shot. He drops a YOLO on January 9th, and his GameStop position is higher than we have ever seen it. And that is something that you could expect. So wait till I squeeze you. What's also weird about that, the song title, Give It To Me Baby, what does this look familiar? Like Rick James, right? Rick James's CD right here, Give It To Me Baby, for this song. What does this look like? This looks like computer share. It's the computer share logo. Depending how deep you want to go down the rabbit hole, is he telling us to DRS our shares? If you don't know what that means, I'll give you a brief rundown. It means direct registering shares, because ultimately when you own your shares through the broker, you don't own them in your name, you own them through the broker, and they hold them in your name as basically a receipt of these shares. When computer share, you actually hold these shares. Now, what's sketchy about computer share is, yes, you do hold the shares in your name and it's all good and all that stuff, but the DTCC still has right and ownership over you. But on top of that, it gets harder to sell during a fast market volatility, right? You're not going to be able to sell as easy as you are on a broker or something along the lines of that. Now, I also wanted to line up, Roaring Kitty tweeted on June 27th, the dog emoji. I wanted to point out how this might have affected Chewy before I show you AMC's stock chart. See if Unity is actually going to correlate. So June 27th right here, Chewy came to the stratosphere all the way up to $39. But Roaring Kitty didn't just drop a tweet. He also disclosed ownership. If he discloses ownership in Unity, obviously this thing is going to go to the stratosphere, or at least very briefly. And that's another thing I wanted to touch on. If Unity and GameStop merge together, what's stronger, right? Unity, I believe, has a larger market cap than GameStop. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I didn't do a deep dive, but you're ultimately going to see, yes, everyone's saying, yeah, I called out Unity, yeah, grab Unity, load up on Unity. No, right? It's going to be better for GameStop no matter what. GameStop's the main play. We know that from Roaring Kitty. But also, if they merge, it's going to be better opportunity for GameStop than Unity. Okay, Unity shareholders are going to say, dude, you're merging with a brick and mortar store. Like, what's going on here? Retail's going to hype it up. They're going to buy Unity, but it's going to be a brief run when GameStop is overall going to have a stronger base to it. If that is even going to happen. Again, all speculation. Now, Chewy is in this rising wedge here, which is normally bullish, and this is what I see that could potentially happen on Chewy. Don't disregard Chewy, because I think coming into January 9th, alongside GameStop, AMC, potentially Unity, Chewy is going to move as well. So if you want to get your hands on as much plays as possible, I think Chewy breaks to the upside alongside these. AMC, we said, could come all the way down and get this breakdown like GameStop. So don't expect a green day just yet, right? You are getting a slight rejection off of this descending resistance level that you rejected off multiple times. And I said we could come to the bottom of this box around 388, then potentially 381, potentially all the way down to about 370. So watch those levels on AMC. Before I show you the S&P 500, I just want to say shout out to all the members who popped in Discord yesterday after an amazing video. Make sure to get in the Discord. The link is in the top of the description. You can come talk with me. I also post my trades as soon as I take them, so you can see those right away. Talk with the most amazing people, stocks and crypto all day long. There are no bad questions. There are no bad vibes. Everyone in there is a nice, big family who are trying to become financially free together. We also have option sweep alerts, market news alerts, so it's basically a one-stop shop. Dark pool trade alerts, insider trade alerts, and some other stuff, some other benefits in there where we post our gains, post our losses, all that other good stuff. Now, moving on, we do still have some more stuff with GameStop. Just some more tinfoil hat before I touch on the SPY. Greg posted his plane arrives at gate F9. He posted that he accidentally ordered Duncan to gate F9 in Chicago Airport. People are saying that we are in the Kansas City shuffle right now. More tinfoil. You go down the rabbit hole. 17,400 shares of GameStop traded at 32,504 for 565K on Chicago Exchange. Checks all the tinfoil boxes. Symbolism 174 often linked to GameStop theories or memes, so on and so forth. You go down the list. Then Citadel's headquarters in Chicago, all that other stuff, right? If you have any thoughts about this, just drop it in the comments so that people can read them, and I'm going to try to sweep all the bots that YouTube loves to let come on my channel off of the comments. Now, also, there are some speculation that Credit Suisse and other banks will have to cover swaps on January 13th. What this means is basically these swaps, normally these contracts have an expiration date, and some of them could be 4-year contracts, and that is just some speculation that will happen on January 13th as well. January 13th is an insanely bullish day in my opinion, because it marks the day GameStop had over a 200% move, right? This big green candle, which was the original breakout date. But January 9th to 13th is when I'm most excited for these things to move. Touching on the S&P 500, we got a breakdown. Right away, I was going to say we could see a triple bottom here. Take a look at this triple bottom you saw back here, which ultimately is very, very bullish, and the SPY could be faking us out. Take a look, you see a triple bottom right here, although we broke the lows of both of these, which is not something that I like. However, keep in mind, we did do the same thing back here to freak people out and shake some paper hands out. We came down to this level right here. Now, does that mean the SPY is bottom for the day? Not necessarily, because I think if we don't recapture 584 or 584.50 by the end of day, it looks pretty ugly. Now, we do still have 3 hours to do so, so maybe we see some sort of catalyst, but otherwise, things are breaking down. The SPY is breaking down. You can see this is it on the daily. It's breaking out of crucial support levels that you do not want to see it break under. It's only done this one time way down here on August 5th, coming back down to the nearest fib level, which if the SPY did something similar, the nearest fib level is pretty far down to 566, 565, 566. Now, if the SPY did want to bounce or want to bottom out somewhere, I'd watch between 579, 576.50, or ultimately 574 for the SPY. Those are just some levels to take a look at. Tesla also got a mega drop today, breaking below some decent support here, coming to where I've been calling out between 370 and 362. We are very close to that, trading at 374.70. Now, the option chain is absolutely stacked both ways on Tesla, so be careful trading this. And also coming into inauguration, Trump and Tesla, buddy, but you did also see that threat with the Cybertruck, all that other stuff. Ultimately, Tesla has a little bit of challenges, and I did say it's going to come down lower. I don't think this is a long-term put play. I think this is setting up to give everybody one buying opportunity or just more additions to their long-term portfolio. Anything under 370 looks pretty good, but it could come all the way as low as 260 if the market crashes. So you have to just watch things balance out and see where they're going to go. Nvidia is still holding its trend, so we need to see what happens here. I can tell you right now, if the SPY decides, write this down, if the SPY decides to close under 581 today, if it decides to close under 581, watch for Nvidia to have a mega red candle tomorrow or coming into next week. Moving on, IRS just delayed crypto tax reporting requirements until 2026, leading us into Bitcoin. We bounced off of 91K, coming all the way up to 97.5. Now, if this consolidation continues, then guess what? You're at the top of the consolidation range, or relative top, which means you got more room to just come back down, maybe test 92K, maybe break under 91, flash down, so on and so forth before climbing higher, right? Ultimately, what you want to watch out for is for Bitcoin to actually break back above 98K. Then we start just putting some eyes on it and seeing where it's going to go. Last but not least, I just wanted to touch on this very, very briefly, is XRP, because we got a beautiful bounce and we held back above 216. Came all the way up to 245. Where is this thing going to go? Nobody really knows what XRP wants to do. But if we get momentum back in, altcoins, get another leg up, get another rally higher. I'm watching $4.68. Overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. Get ready to make some money, some serious money with GameStop. And if you're not in the Discord yet, don't miss it, okay? You don't want to miss a major squeeze opportunity that you've been waiting years for. and you won't miss it, especially if you're in the Discord. And the amount of money you're going to make potentially off of GameStop, Chewy, Unity, Spy, Tesla with these callouts is just absurd greed if you're not getting in the Discord, and laziness. But that is it, guys. I love you all. God bless. Lottery Socks out.